Wel- Welcome to the Standing Waters podcast from New Way Restoration and Cleaning. I'm your host, Bill German. Here's Chip.
And again.
Yeah, I feel like we start these off fast and furious. I think we start off laughing and we start off having a good time. And well, here we go.
Let's go.
Here we go.
Dig it in.
We were just talking about putting together a compilation of outtakes. Maybe we should do this quarterly because there's a lot of them.
A whole lot.
A whole lot. A lot of the beginning. Chip, today, guess what we're going to talk about?
What?
You and I were discussing a new employee, a potential new employee, who's a high school teenager.
Yes.
And it kind of got me thinking about this. And I said, you know what we should talk about? Let's talk about careers in disaster restoration. And we got to thinking about it, and you and I, we went pretty well in depth on why we like the kid and what we can do for him and what the industry can do for him. So I got to thinking about it and said, we were going to talk about something else this morning, but this is kind of fresh. This would be good. The reality of the matter, and unfortunately, is that the disaster restoration industry is extremely not marketed. I'd like to believe that it is the most under-marketed, under-advertised industry. I'll tell you that we got involved in the apprenticeship program with the state of Maryland, and we put together a disaster restoration technician, job description. Had to keep the scope tight.
Sure.
For a teenager. And we got it in, and I got a phone call from a parent. And the parent called and asked us, said, tell me about this job. My son said he wants to come do this. So I tell him a little bit about it. It's a conglomerate of like all of the trades. Right? It's not a plumber. It's not just a plumber. It's not just an electrician. It's not just HVAC technician. It's all of them put together. We never know what we're coming into, right? And I was explaining to him that you can be internationally certified and lots of cool things. And the dad practically hung the phone up on me. He says, "Never mind. He's going to be an electrician." And I was like,
"Okay,
have a good day." Right? The problem is I didn't know anything about it until I got here. Right? I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know what they were, what we were used for in the community. I didn't know what we were used for in the insurance industry. I didn't know. I just figured you had a water damage. You vacuumed it up with a shop vac and moved on.
That's what I offered. Yep, same as me.
And I think we run into that a lot with the general public. Let's just start somewhere. We are, we're internationally certified by a certifying company called IICRC. And what they do is they set the standards for cleaning. How we should be doing it. They set the bar. This is how. There's a lot of those legal words like should and shall and will and won't and, those stuff. And we live by those guidelines. When your hot water breaks on the third floor like the poor lady yesterday, it breaks. Why would you put a hot water heater on the third floor of a place? I have no idea. But when it goes bad, it floods all three levels. Yep. Right? So, show up and what you're trying to do is really you're trying to prevent mold. You're trying to prevent secondary damage. We can dry it out, clean it up, dry it out, prevent the damage, hopefully prevent it from the future also, and then put our house back together. It's that simple, like fires. We get lots. People just think of fire damage as your house burning down. No, it's actually very vast and broad. It's that time of year. It's been 10 degrees for a week. But it's now 30 at night, so it's chilly. That comes with fuel fire furnaces. Fuel fire furnaces, they're known for puffbacks, and they will blow soot throughout your entire home. Wherever a ductwork is coming up through your floor, it's there, right? And when we clean your home after that happens, we have to clean everything that air touches. Like your kitchen drawers. Pull them out, clean everything in them because their air can get in there. Mm-hmm. Flip them over, clean the bottoms. It's literally wherever air can touch is what we're cleaning. As long as your house doesn't completely burn down, we can fix it. I can get rid of the smoke smell. We can fix the structural damage, stuff like that. Mold remediation is huge. We do odor, removing sources of odor from dead animals in your walls. People get squirrels and mice in their houses all the time. Sometimes you get a bunch of them that die in a wall and start to smell. We can remove the smell and help it and keep it from coming back. I think it's just a huge. I mean, I just handed you guys the list of things to hand out to customer. Go, this is everything we do. I mean, it's a lot.
It is, and a lot of people don't realize that either. I mean, I never knew what I was getting into whenever I came here, and you're exactly right. It's a much more vast company than what you think of what we do, because you got electricians, plumbers, they're certified and do one certain thing, and when I walked into this, I'm like, holy cow, we do like a lot of stuff that people do not recognize that we do. That a career could be made out of just this.
Just this.
If you don't like this part, then you can go to this part or whatever, it's just not just, one certain thing like most companies are.
Right. And you can, your certifications are your certifications. Same as being a plumber, right? Mm-hmm. You don't have to be recertified in that state. We can go to any state and go do this work. I mean, the certifications for the technicians are their certifications. So if they should move on from our company, then they're theirs.
Right.
They're theirs. It's like driving. You never really forget.
Yes.
Whether you have a driver's license or not, you never really forget it. But, we get recertified all the time to do this. I kind of laughed when I saw the note here and I said, there's why should you come into this industry? Because there's a growing demand. What is the growing demand? Natural disasters. Mm-hmm. Natural disasters and environmental challenge. They call them challenges, right? But we have plenty more hurricanes. We have plenty more tornadoes. We have bad, heavy rain, wind events. We have large cross-the-country polar vortexes, cold spells. I don't even know what they were calling that last one. They called it an atmospheric rainfall or something, waterfall or something. Whatever. I mean, these environmental disasters seem to hit more often than not now.
Did you know 85% of financial success comes from soft skills abilities and only 15% from our technical abilities? SuperTech U was created by longtime restoration pros Eric Sprague and Larry Wilberton. Their daily 3 to 5 minute videos train your entire company on the soft skills they need to make your business thrive. Plus, your entire team earns IICRC CEC credits, all for about the cost of 1 tank of gas.
To get more information about SuperTech University and receive a special 6-lesson e-course on in-home sales, go to supertechu.com/podcast offer. Again, get your free in-home sales training at supertechu.com/podcast offer.
We get those little microbursts here. We're always, every once in a while, 2-3 times a summer, we're under tornado warning. Same thing. Your house gets hit by a tornado, I can fix it. A lot of emergency services stuff. There's a heavy demand in the world right now for labor-intensive jobs, whether it be, we call them the service industry, from plumbers and electricians and HVAC techs, construction workers, home builders, remodelers. They're all in our world. Right? There's a rising need for it. Mm-hmm. This industry, you can go on Indeed.com and look. I mean, you just put in restoration technician, everybody's looking for somebody.
Right. And Jim, who works for us, he's been 17, 18 years?
I'm going almost 18 years.
Which that says a lot for a career right there. And what's the oldest one that we've had since you've started here? Like Jonathan. Jonathan's been here probably
John's been here 5 years.
And Evan has been with...
Evan's been cleaning carpets for almost 20.
Because he was originally with the New Way.
Almost 20. I mean, everybody thinks the stuff that we do is just labor stuff we do. I mean, the reality is there's a giant science behind what we do, how we do it and why we do it, and when we do it in the steps, right? Even carpet cleaning is a giant science. It's a lot of chemicals, a lot of chemistry, and understanding how things react to each other, which you don't want to use against dyes and natural fibers. All that crazy stuff, right? It's a thinking man's game. 10 years ago, you used to be able to hire anybody you wanted to. They didn't care what skill level they were. In the restoration industry, they just started out as labor. It is what it is. Not today. Not today. There's so many apps that need to be used, utilized, filled in, pictures, notes, documentation. It's now a thinking man's game.
Yes.
You know. So we talking about that young man yesterday, and he is. You know, he's a smart kid. Smart. And if we can show him what we do, maybe we can get him to create a career. There's absolutely career money here. You can make a living. Carrie's shaking her head. Maybe. Carrie's giving us a maybe. There's absolute career money here that for young kids just starting off. You know, you can make great money within just a few years. I mean, there's jobs that you can write estimates sitting at your house. They advertise them all the time. $100,000 a year just to write estimates sitting at your home. I'm always worried about saying that out loud because there's 4 or 5 of you here that write estimates, but they're constantly.
Now she's not shaking her head.
Yeah, now she's not shaking her head. You know, you go out on Facebook and they're looking for they're advertising those people all the time. You know, Texas, Oklahoma, in the tornado belts, where they're just writing roof estimates. $100,000 a year writing roof estimates. Have Eagle Eye take a picture of it and type it.
Right.
I mean, but you're typing. I mean, there's doing a lot of them. But there's a lot of money in it. But roles. You're the operations manager. There's a whole bunch of roles.
There's a pile of roles getting into all this to make everything step by step by step. Yeah. And the more that we can do the roles and teach as they're coming in is going to make things so much smoother at the end of everything.
Yeah.
You know, once everybody gets their roles down and what they need to do, like we sent out 4 guys, I think it was 4 guys to a house today, actually the one you was talking about that just flooded. We told them, said, you know, set up your papers in the rooms. You got 4 of you there, you're the lead tech. You go out, you tell Joe what you want him to do, and that's his job for the day. He documents all the content that's in there and everything else. You get the other one to do this, I said, and then everything will run so smooth. You know? And starting out young is what you need to do. I mean, I was the same way, you know, growing up, you know, you got taught one thing and that's how it was, you know, and there is a demand for all of this that people do not realize. And once you get them started out, like I was telling Bill, he sort of laughed at me in a way yesterday because I was like, you know, what if we do some, you know, carpet cleaning, some rug cleaning in the back with him and stuff. And he just looked at me and I said, he's infatuated with that stuff.
Yeah.
And Bill's like,
which I find baffling.
And I was like, even my girls are like, we want to come in and watch that done. And I'm like, what's so satisfying over that? Look, there's,
you know what I did yesterday?
There's a ton of people that
I ordered bleachers and we're going to start selling seats. I'm not sure they're going to really like it when they get the big stinky when it comes in. It stinks up the shop. They're not going to think it's that romantic.
Well, they're going to have to. We'll buy nose plugs. Sell them.
Yeah, we'll sell nose plugs.
But no, there is a demand for people watching all that stuff. Yeah. You know, and if you can find someone interested in it, if he's interested or she's interested or whoever's interested in it, they're going to sit down and make a career out of it. You know, you got to find out what they're interested in. You know, not everybody wants to go and crawl in a crawl space, but there's a lot of people that like to. Yeah, that's what you got to find.
Figure it out, right? Yep. Figure it out. And those roles and those specific spots roll down from the top, from general manager to operations manager to financial manager to sales and estimating, just estimating, documenting. Yep. middle manager, project managers. I mean, we practically have 4 of them here to cover the departments. You go down to lead technicians, and then just the technician, right? The entry level position, and that's just in mitigation. The managers oversee all 4 departments. They can all step in. I mean, it's a very vast, large company. Lots of different roles, lots of different people, to fill in. So if you don't like water damage, maybe you're more into computers, right? You're going to love estimating, right? Everybody talks about drawing on CAD, right? I think CAD's kind of a thing of the past, but you know what I'm talking about, right? We use Xactimate. Same thing. You're drawing floor plans. You can draw 3D views of homes, and that's what we're doing, right? If you don't want to crawl in a crawl space, well, maybe you're more of a, do you like gaming? Do you like working on the computer? Maybe you want to be the marketing person and run the podcast.
Exactly.
Right? Run the podcast, run the online marketing, run the Facebook ads, all of that stuff. There's so many opportunities in this industry that I just don't think people think about.
Yeah, exactly.
They just don't.
Yeah, there's a lot of openings in this industry. I guess what I was trying to say earlier, there's a lot more openings in this because we do such a broad band of stuff.
Not a single person walks through our front door and leaves without saying, I didn't know you guys did that.
Yep. Yeah. I was talking to a lady yesterday. She came in to look at flooring and carpet and all that. And she's like, I didn't know you guys had all this. Mm-hmm. And so I handed her one of our papers. She was like, I didn't know you did all this.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff.
They got a note here, Chip, for skills and qualifications. I think I'll get rid of all of that. And I think I'll sum it up to be willing to learn, right? What I can tell you in the numerous certifications that I have is that once you get through the first one, the rest of them waterfall together. Right? What I learned in water damage technician school fell into fire damage because 9 times out of 10 we put a fire out with water. They waterfall together, right? Fire and smoke goes into odor. Right? Water and fire go to mold. Right? Carpet cleaning is just an extension of water damage, fire, mold, odor removal. Right? They all just kind of waterfall together. Of course, they're all standalone in their own entity, but they all make sense. The more that you get, it all makes sense. Right? Miss Shawn asks me all the time, we get into technical questions about how would you do this? How are you going to remove this? And it's usually a layered effect of multiple techniques that I've learned in all of these. I'm going to put together to make that happen.
Well, it's funny because you say like the IICRC certifications that we have, if you go online and you look at it, you have to have this certain one before you can do this one.
Yeah, there's definitely prerequisites.
This one, yeah. So, and like you said, they all waterfall into each other. That you got to have this one first, which will help you in this one and this one and this one. So.
Yeah, so I think you take all this, required certifications, importance of technical and problem-solving skills. I think the customer service abilities is huge. But I think you sum it all up. If you're looking to bring somebody in from the industry, new to the industry, be willing to learn.
Yeah.
There's so much information here for you to absorb that just be willing to learn. You want a qualification? Be willing to learn.
Right. And I like it, if you come in just for mitigation part, like you said, if you need, hey, I really don't like this, I want to do something else, we're not going to say, no, you can't do that. You got to leave. We'll find a place for you that has your niche because you always need those people. Yeah.
Work hard, be willing to learn. We're going to find you a place.
Yeah.
Right?
And that runs into the work environment. It's all hands-on, and the opportunities that you have in here is just limitless to me.
Yeah. The work environment is literally leads to be available, right?
Did you know 85% of financial success comes from soft skills abilities and only 15% from our technical abilities? SuperTech U was created by longtime restoration pros Eric Sprague and Larry Wilberton. Their daily 3 to 5 minute videos train your entire company on the soft skills they need to make your business thrive. Plus, your entire team earns IICRC CEC credits. all for about the cost of one tank of gas.
To get more information about SuperTech University and receive a special 6-lesson e-course on in-home sales, go to supertechu.com/podcast offer. Again, get your free in-home sales training at supertechu.com/podcast offer.
We do have weather events here, even in our little town. There's weather events, that we need all hands on deck. I mean, Carrie, you're an estimator, right? Now transition to marketing. But Carrie's certified in water damage and structural drying. So when we have these weather events, everybody who is certified now just became a manager. I mean, we learned our lesson a few years ago where we took on 40 general laborers that we needed for the houses. So literally everybody with a New Wave shirt on became a manager. You get 2 laborers, you get 2 laborers, you get 2 laborers, everybody spread out. We were doing 20 houses a day. Very busy, very stressful, very high pressure, and it was constantly changing. If you want to work in an industry that's constantly changing, and it's not the same thing every day, I've got it for you. I've got the industry for you. Right? Earning potential, it's limitless. It's limitless. It is. We put together commission structures, and a lot of times the dollar values are kind of limited to, your general demographic area or geographical area. I try not to do that. I try to make it pretty darn close to what the industry's at, because I know that you could stop today working for me, sit at home and write estimates for 100 grand. So, the earning potential is huge. It's huge. A lot of the jobs. Once you get to like project manager, once you get to middle manager, you're general. And that's up to you how fast you want to get there. Right. I just had these conversations with the group that we have now, which I think is the best group that we've had in a long time. Just had that group. I'm like, it's up to you how fast you want to learn. Push us to put you into class, right? The faster that you can move up, the faster you take responsibility, the faster that you embrace this whole thing, your earning potential goes up significantly.
Oh, absolutely.
Significantly. What else?
A lot of gray areas on our chart too. So
yeah, there's plenty of gray areas on our organizational chart. Spots that we need to fill in.
Yeah, and we give them overtime.
Overtime's practically limitless.
So, yeah, whatever they need, whatever they want to get it done. Cracking the whip out of me.
I haven't told anybody no yet.
Exactly.
I haven't. There's times where I think that I should shut down overtime, but it doesn't. The phone rings again, and one after it, and one after it, and you know what? Well,
yeah.
It just keeps going.
And I think, we got another point on here is making a difference, I mean, we make a difference in lives every day for, not only our employees, but also our customers, and I think if you go on our page and look, that says a lot, because we got a lot of 5-star reviews that help people out, and they love us for it. So. Right.
So, you try to talk about things that are relevant in today's world. You just had Hurricane Helene come up through the southern end of the Appalachian Trail, came up through, like Asheville, North Carolina and stuff like that. It decimated, it flooded those houses and destroyed things. That's what we do for a living. Right? There's companies just like us that are designed only to travel from disaster area to disaster area to disaster area. I was just talking to a couple just 2 nights ago. We were going to go to Florida. They own a house in Florida. When a hurricane hit 2 years ago in Florida, that we were going to go because we had never seen disaster work before, and we wanted to go check it out. And they had a house that was undamaged, dead center of the hurricane. Yeah, so we were going to stay at their house so that we had a place to live, we had a place to stay, and figure it out, right? So if you wanted to make a difference, that's how you do it. We make differences in everybody's lives every day in our community. But if you were looking for the bigger picture, you could absolutely take all of your certifications and travel to, North Carolina, Kentucky, and go help.
Right.
Go help. Go solve those people's problems that they've run into as their houses destroyed.
Yeah. What about the advanced opportunities?
You all, I'm going to say you all push me all the time about advanced opportunities. You guys, you come to me with what we're going to categorize as crazy ideas, but they're really not, right? They are softball ideas to see if we can make it happen either today, this moment, or make it happen in the very near future, right? Some of those things is, Jim and I are double master restorers. We're one credit away from being triple master, which is the highest education level in the industry. Once we become that, we become instructors. The opportunity to do that, right? If we wanted to go teach, we can go teach. One of those opportunities is there's not a teaching facility here in our town. There isn't one close. The closest one, Carrie, Chip, Tiffany, Tamika, Barney, Mike, they all went to Nashville. It's the closest teaching facility. From here it's a 10-hour ride. So these crazy ideas of making it bigger, you start a school. Because everybody around here, we're not the only ones in town, right? There's multiple other disaster restoration companies. They need recertified. They need to certify new employees. People from Pittsburgh, there isn't one in Pittsburgh. Right? That's 2.5 hours away. Southern West Virginia, there isn't one down there. But to not travel 10 hours, but to travel 2 or 3, it's so much easier. Just so much easier. So, you look at the vast opportunities from becoming an instructor, becoming an expert in a field that you like. We're lucky enough to have, Jim Pemberton on our side.
Yes.
It was, 2 hours away in Uniontown, or north of Uniontown, in McKees Rocks. But, he is an expert in carpet and upholstery. He just found his niche, right? He speaks at conferences. He travels the country teaching and talking. He sits on the IICRC special board. So, if you want to be an industry expert, I look at Mark Violand, who's an expert in carpet. He knows anything and everything about carpet. He becomes a carpet inspector for the large carpet manufacturers. So when you file a warranty claim against them, Mark shows up at your house and takes a look at it and is able to investigate what occurred to that piece of carpet. So this vast. You become a home inspector. You can become a mold inspector. You can start doing mold inspections, mold testing.
Glenn Champlin does all that here, and he's local and does all that stuff.
The opportunities here are pretty much whatever you'd like. If you just want to write estimates, You just want to edit videos for podcasting and marketing, it's here, right? It's in this industry. It is. What about longevity?
I'm here for the long
run. The reality is, when people are looking for a job, because there's a difference between a job and a career.
Yes.
Right? Lots of people are looking for a job. And the question they'll ask you is, well, what's advancement look like? My concern there is that all we're looking for is 50 cents on the dollar. Mm-hmm. Right? What I want you to look for is a career in this industry. Right? When you change your mindset to career and not job, that's when we start talking about real money.
Sure.
That's when we talk about buying your house. That's when we talk about having a nice car. That's when we talk about raising a family. That's when we talk about going on vacation, right? So if you're looking for a career, walk in my front door. We want to talk to you.
Absolutely.
Right? You got a job? Plenty of jobs available. Plenty. Facebook's riddled with them. Right? If you're looking for a career, I got you. If you don't see working fast food as a career, okay. But I got an opportunity here for young people to get started early to really make a difference in their lives and everybody.
So my idea is, and I brought it to you before, is I want to start going and looking at job fairs.
Mm-hmm.
Going setting up a 10x10 booth, whatever they allow you to put in there. Have Carrie edit videos and put them up behind us. Me and Jim go on screens and, and just look and tell people what we do and show them just not one thing, but everything that we do. And I think getting younger kids, people that's interested in wanting a career now, is the way to go with it.
Seems to be a large push right now for those, what some might call blue collar work. But the reality is, I've been blue collar my whole life.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
You know, I can build your house. You know, I can plumb your house. You know, I stayed away from electricity because I felt like that was going to hurt me. But, you know, I've been blue collar my whole life. You know, since I was 14, I've been doing construction. But it made me what I am today. I can build your house. You know, it's those things that we want to capture. We want to capture those people that are looking for a career that they can like, love, and or move around inside until they figure out what they like. What if you think you want to be an HVAC technician and you're like, man, I don't like this at all? Okay. Let me show you how to do mold remediation. Let me take you back here and show you a handmade $50,000 area rug.
Right.
And how to clean it properly so you don't damage it. You know, not everybody owns a Walmart rug. We run into them all the time. So, that's it, Chip. We want you, if you want a career, we'd love to have you if you were young and looking for something normal but out of the ordinary.
That's a way to sum it up, yes.
Yeah. Right? And work every day and rock and roll and make a difference.
No, we'd love to have you come in, knock on the door, and introduce yourselves to us.
Careers in disaster restoration. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening. Bye.